Saram students, welcome back. Today let us continue with the lesson of history. Lesson number 7, Ashoka the Emperor who gave up war. Children, in a previous class we learnt about a very big kingdom that is equal to an empire. We learnt about the Mauryan Empire that Ashoka ruled. It was founded by his grandfather Chandragupta Maurya more than 2300 years ago. And Chandragupta, he was supported by a wise man named Chanakya or Kautilya. And there were several cities in the empire which included the capital Patliputra, Taxila and Ujjain. Taxila, it was a gateway to the northwest, including Central Asia, while Ujjain lay on the route from north to south India. And we also learnt about how our empires different from kingdoms. We learnt about the emperors who need more resources than kings because empires are larger than kingdoms and need to be protected by big armies, and they also need a larger number of officials who collect taxes. And children, today we shall learn about ruling the empire. Now children, let us begin with the lesson. Ruling the empire. As the empire was so large, different parts were ruled differently. The area around Patliputra was under the direct control of the emperor. Children, we know that the empire of the Mauryas, it was very large. So the different parts, they had to be ruled differently. And Patliputra, that is the present day Patna, it was the capital of the Mauryan Empire, and this area, it was under the direct control of the emperor. And this meant that officials were appointed to collect taxes from farmers, herders, craftspersons and traders who lived in villages and towns in the area. So children, who were appointed to collect taxes? The officials, they were appointed to collect taxes. And from whom did they collect taxes? They collected taxes from farmers, herders, craftspersons and traders who lived in the villages and towns in that area. And messengers went to and fro, and spies kept a watch on the officials. And of course, the emperor supervised them all with the help of members of the royal family and senior ministers. Children, who are messengers? Messengers are the people who are employed to carry the messages. We know that the Mauryan Empire, it was very large. So these messengers, they went to and fro. That means they went from one place to another and they went back again to that place. So they used to carry the messages from one place to another. And spies kept a watch on the officials. Children, who are spies? Spies are the people who are employed to keep a secret watch on someone. So these spies, they kept a watch. On whom did they keep a watch? They kept the watch on the officials. They had to see whether the officials are doing their work properly or not. And of course, the emperor supervised them all. So, who supervised these all? The messengers, spies and the officials? The emperor. He supervised them all. And whose help did he get? With the help of members of the royal family. That is, from his own family and from the senior ministers that were there in his empire. And there were other areas or provinces, and each of these was ruled from a provincial capital such as Taxila or Ujjain. Children, we know that the Mauryan Empire, it was very large. So there were other areas or provinces which had to be ruled. So each of these, it was ruled from a provincial capital, which was that such as Taxila or Ujjain. And although there was some amount of control from Patliputra, and royal princes were often sent as governors and the local customs and rules were probably followed. Children, we know that Patliputra, it was under the direct control of the emperor. So, some amount of control on these areas or provinces was from Patliputra. And whom did they send? They sent royal princes. As what did they send them? They sent them as governors. And the local customs and the rules of those areas and provinces, they were probably followed by them. And besides, there were vast areas between these centers. Here the Mauryas, they tried to control the roads and rivers which were important for transport and to collect whatever resources were available as tax and tribute. Children, the areas between these centers, that is between the provinces, it was very vast. That means it was very huge. So what did the Mauryas try to do? They tried to control the roads and rivers. Why? Because these roads and rivers, they were important for transport and to collect whatever resources were available as tax and tribute. We know that the people, they used to pay tax, isn't it? And tribute. Tribute means a variety of things that people gave more or less willingly. So the Mauryas, they tried to control the roads and rivers. And every part had its own importance. For example, the Arthashastra tells us that the northwest was important for blankets and South India for its gold and precious stones. And it is possible that these resources, they were collected as tribute. Children, what is Arthashastra? Arthashastra, it is a book that was written by Chanakya. So, the Arthashastra, it tells us about the importance of every part of the empire. It tells us that the northwest, it was important for what? It was important for blankets. And South India, it was important for what? South India, it was important for its gold and precious stones. And it is possible that these were the resources that were collected as tribute. Now children, let us learn about tribute. Unlike taxes which were collected on a regular basis, tribute was collected as and when it was possible from people who gave a variety of things more or less willingly. Children, we know that the taxes, they were collected on a regular basis from the people, but tribute was collected as and when it was possible from people. That is, the people, they gave a variety of things more or less willingly. This means whatever they had, according to their wish, they used to give it as tribute. That is, more or less as a tribute. And there were also the forested regions, and people living in these areas, they were more or less independent, but may have been expected to provide elephants, timber, honey and wax to Mauryan officials. Children, this means that there were many forested regions in the empire, and the people, those who were living in these forested areas, they were more or less independent, but they may have been expected to provide some things as tribute. This means the people, they may have been expected to provide elephants, timber, honey and wax as tribute to Mauryan officials. Now children, let's recap what we have learned today in this lesson. Children, today we learned about ruling the empire. As the empire was so large, different parts were ruled differently. The area around Patliputra was under the direct control of the emperor. This meant that the officials were appointed to collect taxes from farmers, herders, craftspersons and traders who lived in villages and towns in the area. And officials, they also punished those who disobeyed the ruler's orders. And many of these officials, they were given salaries. And royal princes, they were often sent as governors of provinces which was ruled from a provincial capital such as Taxila or Ujjain. The Mauryas, they tried to control roads and rivers which were important for transport and to collect whatever resources were available as tax and tribute. For example, the Arthashastra tells us that the northwest was important for blankets and South India for its gold and precious stones, and it is possible that these resources were collected as tribute. And children, what do you mean by tribute? Unlike taxes which were collected on a regular basis, tribute was collected as and when it was possible from people who gave a variety of things more or less willingly. And people of forested regions were more or less independent but may have been expected to provide elephants, timber, honey and wax to Mauryan officials. Now children, let's have a quiz. Multiple choice questions. First one. Royal princes often went to the provinces as dash. A. Officials, B. Governors, C. Ministers. What's the correct option? Correct. B. Governors. Royal princes often went to the provinces as governors. Second one. According to the Arthashastra, blankets of dash India were famous. A. North, B. Northwest, C. South. What's the correct option? Correct. B. Northwest. According to the Arthashastra, blankets of Northwest India were famous. Third one. Dash was important for its gold and precious stones. A. South India, B. North India, C. None of these. What's the correct option? Correct. A. South India. South India was important for its gold and precious stones. Fourth one. The Mauryan rulers tried to control dash and dash which were important for transport. A. Roads and rivers, B. Rivers and mountains, C. Seas and roads. What's the correct option? Correct. A. Roads and rivers. The Mauryan rulers tried to control roads and rivers which were important for transport. Fifth one. People in forested regions provided the Mauryan officials with dash. A. Elephants, wood, fruits and wax. B. Horses, timber, honey and gum. C. Elephants, timber, honey and wax. What's the correct option, children? Correct. C. Elephants, timber, honey and wax. People in forested regions provided the Mauryan officials with elephants, timber, honey and wax. Very good children, those who have guessed all the answers correctly. So children, today we have done part 2 of history lesson number 7. We shall continue with this lesson in our next class. Till we meet again, goodbye children.